words, the agony of Jesus did not have to do with the crown of thorns and with the beating on his back and with all of his physical suffering. It had to do with extreme spiritual anguish because his Father had given him the cup of his wrath and Jesus had to drink this cup. You know, we catch a glimpse into the feelings of Jesus in a prophecy that was given about 1,000 years before Jesus was even born. Psalm 22 and verses 1 and 2. In fact, we have the very words that Jesus spoke on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry in the daytime, but you do not hear. And in the night season, and am not silent. He says, I cry out and you don't listen. Why, Father, have you forsaken me? Do you know why? Because Jesus was drinking the cup of the wrath of God. Because Jesus, as we'll notice, was bearing the sins of the whole world upon himself. Many years later, the Apostle Paul wrote in the book of Hebrews about the anguish of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. It's found in Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 7. Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with vehement cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear. Notice the expressions, prayers, supplications, vehement cries, tears. It speaks about the anguish that Jesus felt in the Garden of Gethsemane as he was drinking the cup of the wrath of his own Father. You know what made it especially difficult for Jesus? Is the fact that all during his ministry he had felt an intimate closeness with his Father. As it says in John chapter 8 and verse 29, Jesus spoke these words during his ministry. He said, and he who sent me is with me. The Father has not left me alone, for I always do those things that please him. He says, I'm not alone. My Father is always with me because I do what pleases him. But now, in the agony of Gethsemane, Jesus is saying, my Father has left me alone. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? And of course the question comes, why was Jesus drinking the cup of the wrath of God? Folks, it was because Jesus was suffering the just punishment that all of us deserve. I want to read several statements from Scripture where this fact is brought out, that the cup that Jesus drank, the cup of the wrath of God, of his Father, the justice of his Father, actually means that Jesus was bearing the sins of the whole world upon his shoulders. Notice Galatians chapter 3 and verse 13. Galatians 3 and verse 13. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. Let me ask you, is the law bad? Many Christians think that the law is bad. Even though the Apostle Paul said that the law is holy and just and what? Holy and just and good. Who's bad? We are. Why does the law curse us? Because we're sinners. The law says, if you live in harmony with my principles, I bless you. If you violate my principles, the curse will fall upon you. The law is not bad. It's sin that is bad. And so it says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law. How did Jesus do this? How did he redeem the world from the curse of the law?